Hey, thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Horror Debate. My name is Jeff Rowdy Jake here, and alongside me, Michael Mandy.
And this week we're going to be reviewing The Blair Witch Project from 1999, directed by Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick.
Or Myrick.
Or Myrick, it could be.
Yeah, whatever. But I'll tell you what, these guys knew how to market, man.
Oh, God. This was the first film, I think, that really took advantage of the internet.
Oh!
Because
let me tell you.
They had this website that was leaking information that was not in the movie. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, I was actually kind of disappointed in the movie because I thought that information on the internet was going to be in the movie.
Let me tell you something, dude.
But it wasn't.
When this movie was in its infancy and the internet viral campaign was kind of happening there.
People went nuts for this movie.
Oh, my goodness. That's all you heard about was Blair Witch.
Because they thought it was real because the way they were leaking the information out over the internet like it was real news.
Yeah. Well, basically what this is about is in 1994, these three college students borrowed a bunch of high-tech equipment, went out in October near Halloween. Best time to do this sort of thing, by the way, if you're going to do it, right? And they went out into the woods in Burkittsville, Maryland.
But this is all fictitious. They really didn't do it in 1994.
Don't ruin it for people. All right. And so basically they get out there and they're searching for evidence or to find the actual Blair Witch.
Which is a fictitious thing invented for the movie.
Correct. But we didn't have to know that. And it was much better when we didn't know that.
Right. Oh, people were going everywhere searching because it took place in a real town, Burkittsville, Maryland.
Right.
And so people were doing internet searches left and right trying to find out about this Blair Witch, thinking it was real.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Okay? When I saw this movie on opening night.
Really?
In the theater.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's
because
amazing.
I was pumped because I had not seen somebody get behind a horror film like this in a long time, marketing-wise. Internet. Everybody's buzzing. Everybody's talking.
Buzzing about this.
I said, you know what? I took one of my best friends. I said, we're going to go check this thing out.
And they were highlighting the fact that people throw up in this film.
I said, I want to be scared to freaking death, man. That's what I wanted.
Got news for you. They weren't throwing up because they were scared. They were throwing up because the shaky camera made everyone car sick.
True that. Okay, but let me just say this, okay? If you went into this movie on opening night, and don't kid yourself, okay? If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen this movie, you owe it to yourself to at least do it once. Because this movie did something that I can't think of another movie that really did it as effectively as this. Is from start to finish in that movie, you have no clue that this is not real. No clue. Those actors, those kids, pulled it off miraculously.
And I think the other fact was that they played, I don't want to say they played themselves, but they played characters with the same name.
Absolutely.
So that way they wouldn't be thinking, I'm acting in a movie. When they yell, Jeff, you idiot, they really mean Jeff, you
idiot?
Because I'm staring right at you.
Oh, come on. No. But the thing
is...
You
see what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, with the exception of the girl character, and she's not really even a character, Heather, yeah. The exception of her dropping F-bombs every, 3 seconds, right? The dialogue...
Yeah, there's a lot of F-bombs.
The dialogue was extraordinarily real. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it was heartfelt, and I couldn't believe that this was written. I really honestly could not believe that the lines that they were saying was written. It flowed so well. Mm-hmm. You know? I viewed this again last night, and just to refresh for this review. And once again, I'm sitting there, I'm putting myself in the headspace of not thinking about that it's acted. You know, let's just go into this thing stupid.
Especially in today's world where every other program on TV is a reality show.
Right, but
this is a reality type movie.
I took myself out of that whole thing knowing that it was fake, okay, and played it kind of with the mindset that, hey, this is real. And I'll tell you what, you view this at 11 o'clock at night with all the lights out and it quiet all around your house, and I'll tell you what, you'll get a little freaked still.
It's a creepy film.
You'll get freaked still. I mean, the little hairs will stand up on the back of your neck when they're in the tents, you know, and they're hearing all these noises and they're freaking out.
When this movie first came out, everyone was going nuts for it, the greatest thing. And then when everybody had seen it and they knew the ending and they knew that it was not real, then the backlash hit. And now everyone, that movie sucks. That movie sucks. And I'm thinking, why are you giving all this backlash? It doesn't deserve it.
Everybody had to be that movie sucked because it didn't scare me. You know what? Bull. If you went opening night and you sat there and you thought this was real, or even if you had doubts that this was real, you had hair stand up on the back of your neck. I'm sorry. I'm pretty hardcore. You're pretty hardcore. And let me tell you what, we both were sitting there going, damn.
Yeah, especially the scene at night when they were in the tent. And when you saw the hand on the side of the tent.
Yeah.
What's funny was 2 nights after that, I was camping. And I was up at night, and I was just staring at the side of that tent wall, and I just said, if a hand comes straight out, I'm going to scream.
Yeah, I'm going to scream, yeah. Oh, man.
And I don't do that.
I'm telling you what, man. You know,
it was a very creepy film.
I bet our listeners are going to come to the site, and they're going to see the Blair Witch listed in our reviews, and they're going to see how many stars I give it, and they're going to laugh.
Yeah, they're going to, oh, that film sucks.
This guy's an idiot, right? But listen to what we're saying. Give it a chance. Drop your guard.
Yes.
Who cares if it was fake? Yeah. Okay?
Well, the funny thing is, watch the movie and watch
for
the
what
credits,
it was.
and watch the credits at the end.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, what does it say? The events depicted are fictitious.
Yeah.
There is no coincidence.
Yeah.
And now
this was a happening. This was an event. This was not a movie release.
Yes, it was an event.
It was an event, and I am so for events. I think that more movies could do so much better if they had this kind of marketing behind it.
Yeah.
And of course, now other movies have tried to do something like this. You know, even like a certain video game did this kind of viral marketing at one point. Yeah. It was Halo 2, as a matter of fact, when it was first released. But I want to say that it for its time, this was such an ingenious thing to do.
They really took advantage of the internet.
It took advantage of every opportunity. I mean, it's kind of like, it kind of reminded me when I was watching the whole thing back to what we were talking about when we did the American Haunting review, and how they had a team of guys on the internet, putting stuff out on this thing. Well, that's all after the fact. Blair Witch did it first. Yeah. And for them to do it with the effectiveness that they did, you had people lining up, I mean, just hundreds deep to go see this thing, made a ton of money. I think it was actually said. I believe it was actually said.
This is the biggest profit ratio
I think it was like
film.
$10,000 made to every dollar spent. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. 10,000 to 1 ratio. I can't say enough about it, Mike. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, a lot of people aren't going to think that we're going to give this thing high marks, but I'll tell you what, I'm giving it high marks. Yeah. This is a 4-star movie.
Yeah. You know what's really funny? I got to give credit to Heather Donahue when she is acknowledged. Her character acknowledges that she's probably going to die, and she's, that's the picture of the close-up of just the top of her head. That wasn't done on purpose. Yeah. That was totally done by accident. Yeah. The director didn't say, just chop off the top of your head. And I tell you, with that camera looking up at her nose and she's crying and you see the snot dripping out, I mean, it's a very unflattering picture.
Wow. It was impressive.
I give her credit for allowing her to, you know what I mean? Most people would say, oh, God, I look horrible in that. No, cut that out. Yeah. Let's refilm it. Yeah. But that took a lot of guts to leave that in there, and that added to the realism.
Impressive. And you know what, Mike? In all honesty, I mean, we were talking earlier about halves and how we should do halves and everything, and our, maybe we should do halves, or I don't think we should. But man, this is tough, because I'll tell you the honest truth. Just for the marketing campaign alone, I think it's 5 stars.
It was an awesome marketing.
It was just impressive. That's all I can say is just an impressive effort to get this thing out there, to get people to believe, and that's the fun of it all anyway. I mean, who are we kidding? If you believe, then you're gonna have fun. You're gonna be scared, and that's what it was all about.
It's definitely a roller coaster ride.
Oh man!
And I love movies that have a history behind them,
Absolutely.
even if it's a fake history. It's just a history. Oh, in this house, 7 people died. The father killed and hung himself.
This had like that 1 foot planet in reality, man.
So when they get to the rock, and she's saying, "This is the rock where the bodies were laid," they were all like, "Ooh," one fault I have with this film, and it's not with the film, but the DVD. Okay, because I was one of the first people to.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, you probably do.
I know what you're gonna say. Okay.
This film. The plot of this film is they have a film camera in black and white and a handheld video camera in color, and the film is edited between the two to make a seamless narrative.
Right.
Now, one of my problems is it was a video camera. Now, in the theater, you have to convert those digital video images onto film, so it creates the flat film-looking, blurry image thing. Okay, that's fine in a movie theater. Now, on the DVD, I wanted to see the real video film,
The raw footage.
Well, not just the raw footage, but just I wanted it was filmed with a video camera. I wanted to see video camera image, so that would make it look more real.
Yeah.
You know, to see them running around with a video camera. You're supposed to be watching video camera images, but they flattened it and made it on film.
Yeah, but I think the way I took it in was that somebody found this footage and it was processed and redone, and for our consumption, basically, and it was put together in a package. So when audiences came to see it, it was in some sort of a format that they could digest easily. And they cleaned it up in the process. I didn't let it take away from the realism of what the footage was actually showing.
I did. It took away when I watched the DVD.
But I didn't let it. That's what I said. I didn't let it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. No, like I said, I was on DVD. I'm watching it on TV. It was supposed to be video footage. I wanted to see video footage. But
fair
instead,
enough.
I got processed film of a DVD,
Fair
of a
enough.
video. But the film itself, I'm still going to give it the same rating. I'm just griping about
so
the
what
DVD.
was your rating? What's your rating?
Oh, I thought this was a great film. The only problem I had with it, though, was the ending. Because they build it up, build it up, you're going with it.
And you're
all
confused.
Boom!
Yeah, you're confused at the
and
end.
it stops.
I'd agree with that. But it kind of harkened back to what they were talking about earlier in the film.
Yeah, it's raw footage. We discovered it.
Right.
And
the fact that the guy was standing in the corner.
Right.
I'm not going to give it away, but the guy was standing in the corner, and that whole story.
I hate to say it, but I think, and I know you're probably going to kill me for this, this film needed words at the end to wrap it up.
You know what? In this particular movie, I will not disagree with you, although I hate.
I know you hate them.
I hate.
But because this film
words
is supposed
in any
to
movie.
be real footage.
Right.
But I was in the theater, and you got to admit, in the theater, when the movie ended, blap, it ended, and all of a sudden the credits rolled, everyone stood up and went, that's it?
Yeah,
huh?
but they did that. They did that because I think, as good as the marketing was, I think that it a little bit went askew towards the release because people were expecting this big old gore fest of, and they were expecting to be really, really like grossed out. We were hearing things about people throwing up, as you said earlier, people passing out, people.
Yeah, they were handing out barf bags at the theater I was at.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous. Okay.
Oh no, the shaky handheld camera was making
I can
people
see
car
that,
sick.
but the way it was said in the media.
Oh yeah, people
was that just people are throwing up. This is the scariest film ever.
Right. And notice they spun that one just right.
So I noticed when I went to the theater and people stood up and they said,
the theater
or the theater. And they said, "Oh well, that's it." I could understand that, and I agree with you that some words at the end to explain a little bit of something would have probably helped.
Or even all the little news footage, modernized news footage they were leaking, quote unquote, onto the internet. Maybe they should have stuck all that at the end of the film too, but at least to close it because it.
But I'll tell you, Mike, the marketing kind of went a little askew, and I think we came close. I won't say we hit it, but we kind of came close to a little bit of false advertising. We did come really close to that, okay? And I don't know if it was because of the way people interpreted what was being said or the spin that the media put on certain things, as we were just saying about the barf bags. It came a little close to being, this is a horror movie that's so over the top, so riveting, so disgusting,
they're generating the hype.
Yeah, right.
They were fueling
but you're getting a little close to that line of, are you legitimately...
But you know what? They made it a must-see movie.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Everyone had to have seen this
No
film.
doubt about it. You ask anybody if they've seen the Blair Witch, and they'll say, yeah, she's right down the corner. No, they'll say, yeah, man, we checked it out in the theater or whatever. But, honestly, my rating... And this is a tough one for me because I'm edging on this one. I'm going to give it 4. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was perfect, but it was darn close with with all the effort that was put in.
Especially two guys who really had no experience. And no budget.
Yeah.
And just basic, kind of almost like The Hills Have Eyes. 2 people with a camera and 4 actors going out in the wilderness and bringing this back.
Right, but if you had a budget... If you had a budget in this particular movie, it would have ruined it.
Yeah, that was called The Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows.
It would have absolutely ruined it because...
That was the same film with a ton of budget. And
absolutely.
No.
It wasn't the same film. wasn't the same film. The Blair Witch 2 was all screwed up. It was trying to be like Saw meets the Addams Family or something, dude. It was horrible.
Yes, it was horrible.
But no.
Well, I guess it was a horror film.
Yeah, exactly. This movie had that foot in reality. It had the marketing behind it. It had
more than a foot in reality.
Yeah. It had the three people that made it work.
Yeah.
Okay, and those actors. I mean,
you know what? I'm really surprised that Heather and Josh and Mike haven't done anything since.
Yeah. How do you follow that?
Heather did Taken, the miniseries by Spielberg.
Yeah.
But that was it.
But how do you follow that?
Oh.
How do you follow a movie with such
Power?
It was a big deal. Yeah. I mean, power, absolutely. I mean, I can't think of another movie that affected so many people in the way that it
like
did.
we said, the backlash. They were victims of the backlash.
Yeah.
You know, hi there. My name's Josh. I was in the Blair Witch Project. Have you seen it? Oh yeah, I saw it. That movie sucked.
Yeah, you deceived us.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I think that's it. I think people are mad because they felt robbed.
Right. And I didn't. I totally did not.
Yeah.
And in
well,
fact,
no, because I watched the credits till the end and went, hey, it says it's fictitious.
I want to go back. For a second to something we said earlier. Okay. If they would have put the words at the end of this movie, you know, the atypical paragraph, or the typical paragraph, I should say, at the end of the horror movie.
The one that says the events portrayed are fictitious, any coincidence is coincidental.
If they would have put, like you said, if they would have explained themselves, you know, a little bit with a paragraph at the end to help wrap up the story.
They never found Heather and they did it. That kind of words at the end.
I'm not at all positive that it would have had the same effect on me. I think that leaving it the way it was in its raw state, you know, it made us think. I remember my buddy and we talked about this movie for probably 3 or 4 days after.
Well, I don't want like a news guy like on those 50s sci-fi movies, you know, the events portrayed, where the guy stands there, you know, this could happen to you.
Right.
No, not like that. No, but just words, because it had no closure.
Well, yeah.
I needed something to close.
Well, I don't know, though. I don't want it explained to me. I don't want that last scene explained to me.
No, don't explain the last scene, but just this footage
found, Totally.
Burned in a wreckage.
Yeah.
What you have witnessed is, you know, been undoctored.
Yeah, totally you could do that, and I would have
never found the bodies.
Right. Exactly.
That's all I wanted. Something like that.
Perfect.
Not just the reason why he's standing in the corner is because of this.
Well, don't put any logic to it because you'd blow it.
Right. No, but just what you have seen is what we found, and that's why it ends this way.
I agree. I totally agree. I think it could have definitely used that. It would have been a more complete package. But I'm not complaining, man. I'm sorry for all you Blair Witch haters. You're wrong. Yeah, 4 stars.
Drop your guard, guys. You know, and watch it again in the privacy of your own home with all the lights out, and it will affect you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely a 4-star film. Just you know, 3.5. But I'm gonna give points to the guys who made it, just because, guys, you guys hit a home run.
No, you know,
I'm really proud of you, and you gave hope to amateur filmmakers everywhere.
Yeah, I was leaning on that 4.5. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, to take something that is so realistic and marketed on the internet as being the real deal and having it totally fabricated, but you're pulling the wool over. I think it's a great thing. I just thought it was awesome. Like I said, it was an event, and for it being an event, it deserves that score.
They pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, but they weren't being, I don't want to say jerks about it. No, they admitted on the film, and even by the DVD, there's the commentary where they say it over and over again.
Yes.
They weren't trying to fool anybody on purpose. It was just the marketing hype.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
But if you watch the end of the movie, it said so right there in plain view.
Yeah, I
know. So it's all your fault, people out there.
That's right.
For being duped.
That's
you
right.
weren't watching with your both eyes open.
You sheep.
Yeah.
So you gave it 4, Mike?
4 stars.
4. I'm sticking with 4, man. I was impressed. I'm still impressed to this day.
And I know everyone out there listening to it, you have not seen Blair Witch in a couple of years. Go out and rent it again.
Go rent it and sit down. I'm telling you, darken the room, light a couple candles, and
then
ready.
The next day, go camping.
I'm
Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff.
Yes.
We'll talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.